Welcome to another episode of Naija Football Talk. Away from all the match day analysis, today we have a special topic to discuss. But just before we get right into it, if you're new on this channel, make sure to hit the subscribe button because there's lots of football content that you would enjoy. And if you're an existing subscriber, make sure you give us your comment and let us know your thoughts on this interesting topic that we'll be discussing right here. And just before we get into it, I've got Bolu actually here with me in the studio. How's it going, man?
I'm doing well, thank you very much.
And I am your host, my very humble self, Kolade, and we'll get straight into the business of the day. So, Bolu, we are discussing something that is not Arsenal versus Chelsea today. It's an hypothetical topic, then versus now. You know, the quality of football has evolved over the past decade or decades, if you say. Football has become, something that we just can't define because it keeps changing every day, down to the level of play on the pitch, formations, tactics, even kit designs. Everything continues to change. And there is a big debate from fans over on social media and all over the place. Is football better than it was then, or is it better now, or is it easier now than it was before? So people have different opinions on that, and we'll just touch into that quickly. And so just to put it quickly, what's your opinion on that? Let me just ask you boldly, for you, has the quality of football dropped in recent times compared to now?
Yeah, certainly it has, for different reasons, and I would explain that it's simply down to the fact that tactics have evolved, like you said. So tactics are more all-encompassing now. The tactics are more down to the details. Every single position on the pitch, they have their specific details, specific instructions for when they have the ball, when they don't have the ball, which is different from what it was a few years ago. A few years ago, there was more freedom, there was less tactical instruction, less instructions off the ball. It was more, when you get the ball, what are you going to do with it? How can you get the ball to the most creative player? How can you get the ball to the striker, to the wingers? But now it's more a team sport. The defenders have to do more than just defend. Midfielders have to do more than just passing the ball. Strikers have to do more than just scoring goals and dribbling.
Even the goalkeeper must know how to pass.
Even the goalkeeper has to do more than just getting the ball out of the net. So things have changed. It's probably more easier to become a footballer, but it's you can say it's a bit less quality now than before.
Yeah, sort of agree with Bolu there. And the biggest highlight for me is the fact that before, if you wanted to be a fullback, it was quite straightforward, yeah. But now the work of a fullback is more than just a fullback. You are also supporting your winger.
If you wanted to be a fullback, just watch Gary Neville.
Now you're also supporting your winger, and you have to overlap as well to make those crosses and everything. It's just quite, encompassing and very difficult, if you must say. But the quick one here, this is more personal to you, Bolu. And your opinion is very, very much valid. There were days where the likes of Okocha, Ronaldinho, the showboating and all of that, those guys just love to enjoy football compared to now when football just seems like a business results game. Yeah. So what football did you fall in love with?
I fell in love with the football that was right in the middle, the football that wanted you to express yourself when you have the ball, but also be rigid and disciplined when you don't have the ball, when you have to defend, be humble and defend for your lives. When you need to attack and attempts to kill the opposition, basically. Basically the Mourinho style of football. That was what it was.
Yeah, I agree with that. And but a quick one, another stuff that has caused controversy is the discipline of players nowadays and compared to then. I mean, players of then were also in discipline. We know how many players spend their money and time partying, drinks and all of that. I don't want to mention names. But these days, becoming common to see youngsters sulking for not being selected. The most recent being Jadon Sancho, coming out to even diss his own manager on social media. So it begs the question, are the players, and I think Mourinho once upon a time said youngsters of nowadays are just brats, in his words. So are the players in this day and age worse than the veterans and legends?
Well, it depends on how you want to take it. Players are generally more disciplined now compared to how they were before. There's definitely more instruction. You definitely have to be more intelligent to be a footballer now than before. Before, you could just have small talent and you know how to pass the ball and you could
get the job done.
You could pass. But now you have to know, you have to understand the game as a whole. You have to understand every single facet of the game and have the tactical intelligence as well. So yeah, you could say players are more Players are more sports now, but then they are definitely more disciplined as well from a physical aspect. Every single day of the week, every day of the year, the fitness is top notch. They are athletes with the real sense of the word now than they were before.
Okay, and this is probably where I have an issue with my own biggest controversy for me. The number of games players have to play every season seems to be going up with each calendar year, especially with the creation of different competitions here and there. Yeah. We've seen the Nations League, and now we've seen that the Champions League from next season will take a new format, probably bringing more games as well. A good example is Rodri playing over 70 games for club and country last season. Can we attribute more games as a factor for lesser quality football these days and burnout, maybe?
Well, certainly, yes. There's more burnout, there's less quality football. But the less quality would also be related to what I said earlier, that the coaching is more all-encompassing now. The coaching takes the creativity and the that incentive of doing things from your own guts. That's taking it away now. It's more about what the coach said. You have to do exactly how the coach says. You have to make the pass exactly how the coach wants you to receive the pass, and make that pass one touch exactly how the coach wants it. So games are probably more boring now, less quality and all that. But as a whole, you have lesser teams. I'm able to beat bigger teams now because of the tactical instructions, because of all these things that come into play, because of the fitness, discipline and all that comes into play, rather than just what you do in 90 minutes.
And speaking of boring, the football has also seen, over the past decade, football has seen the introduction of VAR. It has actually caused good and bad. It has caused, split opinions. And
it has exposed bad refereeing.
It has exposed bad refereeing as well, obviously. But ultimately, I feel it has done, in my opinion though, I feel it has done more harm than good, and it has reduced the spectacle that comes with the game. I mean, sometimes some players don't even fully celebrate because they are wondering, is VAR going to chalk up this goal or whatever? So do you think VAR has contributed to, the drop in quality of football, and maybe players being afraid to make some tackles because they know, they will definitely have a second look at this?
Well, it's two-sided, because you can say there's an element of spontaneity that's been taken out of it, the element of suspense that's been taken out of it. But there's also the fact that we need football to be more effective. If there's a lot of money going into it, if there's millions and billions and literally lives on the line and careers on the line at stake for these things, you need to be sure that the proper decisions are made. So it has to be effective. So the VAR is there to make the game more effective, so that at least we know that what is a goal is a goal, what is an offside is offside, what is an handball is handball. So it's just left to the human factor of it. The referees that are actually the ones in charge of the technology to be able to make the best decisions, be able to interpret it well, work alongside the technology to be able to come with the best decisions. And it's with time, really, because I remember the first year VAR came out, 2017, 2018, there were a lot more problems than there are currently. So I think it's improving year by year, and hopefully soon we can reach that balance where the technology meets human factor and human error, and we can all work together.
And just on a final note, Bolu, in a nutshell, how do you think the quality of football now can be improved on any front at all?
That's a difficult question, because it keeps improving daily. Training methods, preparation, recovery methods keep improving. So, first of all, I'm not even a scientist. So, I mean, I don't know what's next in vogue. Now, players can even elongate their careers. See players playing into their late 30s, early 40s. So, I mean, it's part of the improvements. So, but we can't really put a cap on it to know how far football can improve. You don't really know what extent it to go, because I can imagine people who were football fans 20 years ago couldn't have imagined that now VAR will be deciding games, that the jersey designs will be different, boots, you can now wear different colors of boots on the pitch and stuff like that. So you can't really put a cap on it and say this is where it's going to go, because there's a lot of potential in football, there's a lot of money and a lot of investment, a lot of people involved. So, and with that, it just keep improving exponentially.
Yeah, that's it for me too. I hope football just continues to improve. I mean, last time out against this man's club, VAR, the contentious score, and I can only hope that VAR is used effectively. That is just the word. So we want you to join us in the conversation. What do you think about football then versus now? Has football actually improved, or do you think it has taken a decline? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to also share, like, retweet, and post on all platforms. It's been an interesting conversation with Bolu here in the studio. Until we come your way next time, stay cool.